Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. A 21-member all-party delegation met the Manipur governor, Anusuya Uike, today, and they requested her to restore peace and harmony by taking effective measures. This 21-member delegation also requested the governor to apprise the center of the complete breakdown of law and order in Manipur even after 89 days. Now, this delegation had visited relief camps in Churachandpur yesterday. If you look at the statements coming from the BJP leaders, they have said this visit is a show-off, it's a political tourism. Now, the big question is that why is BJP shutting its eyes on Manipur? Joining me now is a firebrand left leader who's also been a former Rajya Sabha MP, Brinda Karat. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining on the film. My first question to you, ma'am, is why do you think that BJP has really shut its eyes on Manipur?
I think there are two reasons for it. One is their own culpability, the culpability of the double-engine government, which has created this unprecedented situation for citizens of India in a very, very important part of our country. So how to conceal that, how to divert attention from the culpability of this double-engine government. And the second, I think, even more disturbing, I would say, point is the bulldozing of the principle of accountability, which is so important to keep the trust of the people of India. And the very fact that the Prime Minister has remained silent, I think this is a world record. I don't think in any other country where a single leader, the president or the prime minister or chancellor of a country, where there has been unprecedented violence, attacks in any part of their country, would keep silent, as has our prime minister.
Right. This all-party delegation has given a memorandum to the governor and has asked the governor to apprise the center of the complete breakdown of law and order. Now, what do you think can the governor do? Can the governor not write to the center that, look, the situation is not conducive, we must have a president's rule? Can she not take the effective measures?
Well, the governor's role in that sense is restricted, and it is quite in contrast to the role that governors in opposition-led states have been playing, proactive role against the elected state governments. And here we have in Manipur, Madam Urke, who is the governor, who must have, I'm sure, sent many reports to the center. I can't believe that she has not sent a report. But I think a more public position by the governor expressing her deep agony about what was happening in Manipur, I think would have helped to heal the wounds which are being inflicted in Manipur. I think her absence in all the, I've heard that she had gone to a relief camp yesterday or day before yesterday, just prior to the visit of the delegation. I don't want to blame the governor at all, but I would say that as the governor, if she had expressed her angst, I think it would have shown some sensitivity towards the people of Manipur.
Brindaji, all the women activists with whom we were in touch for the last 75 days or 80 days, all of them had been citing this, that the women are being manhandled, the women are being abused, the women are being sexually exploited. All this was coming, everybody knew about that. But then also, and they had written to the Women's Commission as well. Now, what would you say to the role of the Women's Commission, and especially in the wake of this video which just came out, what would you really say to the attitude of the Women's Commission?
I'm actually ashamed at the role of the National Commission of Women, because I remember in the early 90s, it was the women's organizations and women's movements which fought for extended autonomy of the institution, the National Commission of Women. We fought for it. And we said it cannot be a wing of the government. But unfortunately, that autonomous role that the commission should play, I'm very sad to say, it has failed the women of India by not playing that role. Now, the chairperson, I saw her statement saying that she has written to the Manipur chief minister 3 times and he has not responded. Well, why didn't you go to that state? You have every right to do so.
Right.
You have every right to do so. You are mandated by law, the law which has set up the National Commission of Women. But what I would also like to say, if you would permit me, is that Manipur has a record of very, very strong women's organizations themselves. And the mobilization of women in Manipur has always been a very secular mobilization. They have mobilized unitedly against state repression, against AFSPA. There's a history of Manipur women led by Meitei women who have been in the forefront of so many important initiatives which inspired women across India. For example, the Meitei women who defended their own colonies, the Meitei women who went to the markets and defended their right to a dignified livelihood. But where are those voices today? And why are those strong women's voices not heard? So this is something which is a great setback for us, because we have always seen Manipur as something which was a real inspiration because of the strength of the Manipuri women. But today, this kind of horrendous, horrific, barbaric, unbelievable attacks, and yet we find a silence from those who had been so strong earlier. And therefore, what I would like to say, Neelu, this ethnic divide, this communal divide, they both go together, is entirely the responsibility of the BJP government. They have created this divide, which has done such disservice, not only to those victims, but to the movement of a whole state.
Right.
It's horrifying. I mean, I have heard examples, Neelu, of Meitei women coming out and trying to save their Kuki sisters. But at the same time, there is the opposite too. So what I feel is, this is a huge setback for women's struggles all over India, that this ethnic cleansing, this communal cleansing should have the participation. I would say, you know, it's something that we are very, very sorry and sad about, apart from the horrific incidents which have taken place.
But Brindaji, what do you think is the reason why you feel that, those strong women voices have got drowned, they have got lost? What is the reason for that? Of course, you are also going to Manipur shortly. But what do you think has been the reason? You must be in touch with a lot of women organizations over there. What is your feeling?
I know, but what I find, I mean, I don't know, we'll have to go there and meet all these women. But what I find is that unity which was there, which had a purpose, that purpose has changed. And that purpose has changed because it has been driven by a very toxic kind of politics, which have affected all communities. It's not just one community. It has affected all communities. But specifically, I would say, the strongest community has been affected, I would say, in a very unfortunate way. And, it's going to take time, but I do believe that, well, we have to take certain administrative, we have to take certain political steps through dialogue. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry that women of all communities have been the greatest sufferers. Their bodies have been literally used as the site to take forward this toxic agenda of ethnic cleansing, communal cleansing, hatred for each other. And it's been fueled by the state government. And therefore, if you don't mind me saying so, but I strongly believe that to keep such a government in power is doing a great disservice to the necessity for unity and the necessity for dialogue. The present chief minister has shown his partisanship towards an extremely toxic politics. And I think to have him in the driver's seat and for Modi ji and Amit Shah ji to go on defending him is very, very, very unfortunate.
These opposition MPs also met the two women who were paraded naked. And I think one of the victims, they told these opposition MPs that, the buck stops with the chief minister. And why has he not punished those policemen in front of whom she was sexually assaulted, in front of whom the victim's father and son were killed? Now, what would you really say to this? I mean, this is an open admission of the fact that whatever is happening in Manipur, the only person who's responsible is Biren Singh, the chief minister. But then also the prime minister and Amit Shah continue to defend him.
Exactly. And tell me, what is the message you are sending out? That you can defend people who are criminals, who have raped, gang raped, killed, murdered, and you are defending them? I mean, Manipur is, and the way that they are trivializing the issue. Why say trivializing? If a woman is raped in Rajasthan, fight it. If a woman is raped in Bengal, there are more than 10,000 women who are raped. There are 86 rapes a day in India, average. 86 every day on average in India, according to the NCRB. We are all, the society, the governments, but don't try and compare the fact that women were attacked because of their ethnicity, because of their religion. So it is not just a law and order issue. It's a politics, it's an ideology which is being supported by the government in power.
Right. But Brinda ji, do you suspect that there is some larger design or a larger conspiracy as far as Northeast is concerned, which people are not understanding? Many people have pointed out to the fact that, RSS has a larger agenda towards cleansing the minorities. Now, is that what you also see in Manipur, another manifestation of that?
I won't say it's absolutely comparative, but I would say it is a parallel. Because the same kind of technology, language, which was used against Muslims all over India, to call them termites, to call them illegal, to call them anti-India, to call them conspirators, and to demonize them. If you look at the way that the language against the cookies, they're all illegal immigrants, they're all poppy cultivators, they're all drug smugglers, they're all criminals. They have to be thrown out. They have to be thrown out of Manipur. Yesterday, there was a huge procession with the most provocative slogan. So that is something which is of concern. And why I say this, I don't think, these things happen spontaneously. So I may not use the word conspiracy, but I would say that there is a goal, there is a politics, and there is a kind of majoritarianism. And of course, in the Northeast, all the conflicts have been based on ethnicity, except in the case of Muslims.
Right. But what about the Prime Minister? I mean, of course, he just spoke for 36 seconds on the day the monsoon session was opening up. He mentioned Chhattisgarh, he mentioned Rajasthan, but he's not ready for a discussion inside the House. Though Amit Shah has been saying that, no, we are ready for a discussion, but then they've cited the change of rules that, no, this is the rule under which opposition has been saying that this is the rule under which the discussion should take place. And the ruling side has been rather accusing the opposition that they are not letting the issue to be discussed in the House. Now, is this some kind of a worst whataboutery which probably could be seen in such a grave matter which the country is staring at?
Well, that's an extremely relevant point that you've made. And while totally agreeing with it, I would add another point. The attitude to the Prime Minister of Amit Shah and the parliamentary party of the Bharatiya Janata Party, if there is such a thing, as far as I can see, it's just 2 or 3 people who take the main decisions. It's really, apart from whataboutery, it's about accountability. The Prime Minister has not spoken because he has shown he does not believe in the principle of accountability. And I think that is what is critical for any functioning democracy. You have differences, you have criticism, but there is the principle of accountability which has to be established. And by not speaking, by saying, oh, it's under the Home Ministry, so I don't speak, the leader of the House, the leader of Parliament, the head of Parliament, so to speak, you can go and inaugurate a new Parliament building and completely sideline the President of India, which she should have done. But when it comes to speaking about such an important issue, you want to put the burden on I would say the responsibility on the Home Minister. What kind of hypocrisy is this? You can go and do all your drama in inaugurating a parliament because you want to establish that you are the supreme leader. But when it comes to accountability, when it comes to responsibility, you are the only world leader who perhaps has maintained silence when a part of a country is burning.
It's really unfortunate. But ma'am, what would you really say also? I mean, we must talk about the attitude of the Women and Child Development Minister, Smriti Irani. What does one say about her? We've discussed Women's Commission. We've discussed the attitude of the Prime Minister. But what about her? Being a woman, she's been raising a number of issues when it comes to the opposition parties. But on Manipur, she has just been very, very quiet.
I'm really very, very sorry and extremely disappointed about the role of Smriti Irani. I remember when Sushma Swaraj was in Parliament, and I remember the battle that she put up on many, we had huge differences. But I remember on many issues, she spoke up. She expressed her opinion. When Uma Bharti was a minister, she expressed her opinion. I'm sure the Bharatiya Janata Party does have very strong women, but their strength is being used for whom and for what? If you cannot understand the difference between what is happening in Manipur with other states, and you want to spin that analysis or narrative, I do feel that, I must say, especially about Smriti Irani, I do feel very, very disappointed because I've seen her fight. She's she's very articulate, she's very vocal, she can make a point so powerfully. But unfortunately today, she is on the side of those who have let down the women, not just of Manipur, but of India.
Why do you think the women MPs, the BJP women MPs, the women parliamentarians, they have just sealed their lips on Manipur. Is it because of some kind of fear that they will lose out politically? They will they
And I
will
don't know really.
they will be on
I
the
don't
bad
think
side of the book.
I can't really comment on that, whether it's because of fear or because of their positions or because of, the party whip or because of party law. Really can't say. And I wouldn't like to hazard a guess.
Right.
But I do hope that in their hearts there is a rage as to what has happened in Manipur. And I do hope that somewhere in their being, they are appalled by the attitude of their leaders here in Delhi.
Another question regarding the investigation of the violence in Manipur and also the sexual assault case. Now they have BJP has asked the CBI now to investigate the matter. Now, what does that politically mean? Does BJP, in very explicit terms, is trying to tell the world that look, we do have a chief minister in place, but we do not have faith in the investigation process of that particular government? Is this some kind of a referendum through the investigation which BJP is trying to tell the people?
Well, I think that, it could be if they had followed it up with some other action against the chief minister. I think that message could have been quite strong. But as it happens, it's very clear that they're giving it to the CBI to deflect the criticism that for 3 months they have done zero. And therefore, to deflect that criticism, when it comes up in Parliament, they're going to say, look, we're so serious about it. Once we knew about it, we have referred it to the CBI. But I would like to point out that Amit Shah went to Manipur, I think, on the 29th of this month. And as far as I recall the dates, it was before that the women had registered these FIRs. And if indeed he had serious discussions with his own home ministry people there, or his home minister there, and the chief minister there, and the police there, surely he would have known that there were so many incidents of sexual assaults on women and killings which had taken place. How is it that the home minister goes there, stays there for 4 days, and is so uninformed about the crimes against women? I think that is a very important issue which has to be raised. So the fact of the matter is what Biren Singh himself said, oh, there are hundreds of such cases. You remember that statement, appalling statement he made.
Yes.
Surely you would have told the home minister that. You would have told the home minister, oh, Mr. Shah, there are hundreds of such cases. So, the whole thing is one of a lack of accountability, a criminal negligence and callousness on behalf of the double-engine government.
Towards the end of the interview, ma'am, I would really want to ask you, what would you really like to tell the people of Manipur and also tell the Prime Minister and Home Minister?
Well, first of all, I would like to tell the women of Manipur, you have fought so hard, and you have fought together so hard. And today it is those who are there in Imphal, they have the primary responsibility to come out and join hands with them. That is absolutely crucial. I think women can play an extremely important role today in building those bridges. And I think they will have to fight back those extremist forces who are armed and who are using that to stoke more and more chauvinism and attacks on the other. And as far as the Prime Minister and the Home Minister are concerned, all I would say is that you have shown the worst kind of criminal negligence in your approach, and you have set a world record in your deafening silence on such an issue.
Really unfortunate day, but wish you all the best, ma'am, because you're planning to go to Manipur and try and give a healing touch as what people are expecting, because the opposition MPs have also gone, and at least the people have been able to share what they have been going through. Thank you so much, Brinda ma'am. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this interview: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.